COVID.
Bless you.
Thank you. I COVID'd my mouth.
Happy Monday, blamers. It's Who's to Blame with
Dom Nessie.
That's right. That's right. That's the second week you in a row. Good job,
That's
buddy.
right. 2 weeks in a row. I remembered my name, baby.
We know it's so hard for you to remember your name, but you definitely know how to mansplain, huh?
Who does?
You.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, so anyway, how was your week, jerk?
My week was good. It was a long weekend because we went to the beach on Friday and I got sunburnt. So the whole entire weekend felt a lot longer than it was, which is a good thing sometimes.
So did you wear a mask at the beach?
Yeah, and a snorkel. No, I didn't wear a mask at the beach. I was not near anybody. I was not within 6 feet of anybody. There was wind. It's the beach.
Look, I'm not one to judge. I went and got me a little beach time too.
Yes, you are.
Well, I mean, I guess we wouldn't even have the show but anyway. So I digress. But yeah, so you had a good ending to your week. I had a good ending to my week. I worked like crazy. And I love starting my week off blaming things and people and you and everybody else, right?
Oh, yeah,
Sometimes I blame myself. So we'll get to it. The first topic I have is that a mayor of St. Louis, she doxed her constituents. Who's to blame, Dom?
Probably my high school teachers for not teaching me what doxed or constituents means. So I'm gonna have you go ahead and educate I know what constituents are. I don't know what doxed means. Can you explain what doxed is? It's a new term I saw yesterday for the first time.
What are constituents before I tell you what doxed are? You got to test now. I got to test you.
They're all the letters in the alphabet that aren't vowels. Now go on.
Oh my God. Okay. So folks out there listening, just to clear the record, no, constituents are people who live in a particular political district.
The people who live in a political, yeah, that's what I was going to say, exactly.
And so St. Louis, folks in St. Louis would be her constituents, and she doxed them. And doxed means that you publish personal information about them, such as their phone number or their address. And she she doxed people who want to defund the police.
She ratted on them. That's called ratting out.
Snitches get stitches, right?
I don't know, man. I thought snitches got a lot worse than stitches when I was growing up.
Oh yeah, you are from the Northeast. So this mayor, she goes on to social media and she reads the names and addresses of protesters who actually want to defund the police. And if this isn't, in my opinion, I think the blame lies with fascism. I've been talking about fascism and how it's been on the rise lately, and I can't think of anything more fascist than a public official just putting out information about a descendant and like basically knowing that they could get who knows what at their house. Maybe
that's very dangerous. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous game to play. What she did. I got to ask you though. I'm pretty ignorant to this story. Yeah. Is that illegal or is that just like unethical?
No, that's illegal.
It sounds illegal. Yeah. But I mean,
usually if you dox someone, you're not gonna do it as the mayor in public. You know, people that dox people, they'll do it for you know, as an anonymous type.
It's like the people on Facebook who share people's picture and say, make them famous.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I guess not, no.
Except, yeah, they're not public officials, but so what do you think? Like, why would she do this? Who's to blame, Dom?
Oh, obviously she did it in spite. She did it to try to scare these people for saying, oh yeah, you don't want the police, you want to defund the police. Well, now the police know exactly where you live. So I guess if you call the police, you might be in their little database that I just revealed. So I think that's what she did, which is really dangerous. Now, is she facing any kind of penalties for this?
You know what? I should have looked it up before I came on the show. No,
well, this is new, right? This happened, what, yesterday or today?
Yeah, it just happened.
The commenter, yeah, guys, anybody watching, go ahead and comment. Google it and tell us what's going on with this lady.
For us.
Yeah, come on.
We were slacking.
Look at this face. Do I look like I want to do anything?
I'm always multitasking. I'm starting a watch party. I wasn't, you know, I don't have time to find out what the consequences for her were.
Well, that's why I was concerned. Like, is it just backlash or is it actual?
Sharon, who's watching from she's our guest, everyone.
Sharon Pfeiffer, she's coming on with us today. That's right. That's right.
Very knowledgeable. She says everyone wants her to resign, which not only should she resign, I'm tired of these public officials not facing like consequences.
Well,
like jail.
That's why I was asking specifically if it was illegal, because it doesn't sound like a lot of consequences. Just to being told, hey, you should resign.
I'm pretty sure it's against federal law. So
she might be facing charges. It's probably something that they're looking into now because it's such a new story, like you said.
So inappropriate. And just the fact that they think that they can do stuff like that, that's outrageous, you know?
Well, the scary thing is that, I mean, can they do stuff like that? She did it. Like, they don't think they can do it. They do it. Like, it just happened.
Fascism is totally on the rise. So I guess my next topic I want to talk about is, me and you were talking about this, but it seems that Karens can't breathe.
Wow, but you got to be careful how you phrase that.
Why?
Because isn't "I can't breathe" a hashtag that's for a movement, and Karens are taking over that. Karens can't breathe because they got to wear a mask.
Yep. You know, you hit it right on the head. Yes, Karens have been complaining all week about wearing masks. From our home county, I'm sure like everyone out there has seen the viral video of the women that went up to city council, and especially the one that was bringing up the 5G and all kind of conspiracy theories, telling the doctor he was going to hell. They were bringing up Christianity, saying that nature's lungs should do the trick. And it was just outrageous. People, these Karens are outraged that they have to wear a mask, and they're saying they can't breathe. Like, why? Why can't they just conform?
I think
they want everyone else to. That's why they're always calling the police. Why can't they just conform?
I think the best person to answer this is not me. I think it's actually my guest that I have over here with us. Let me just grab him. Hey, you ready, man? Yeah, can you go ahead and just do what you said you were going to do for us? Okay, thanks. Over here, right over here. There you go.
I don't know anything about this.
Hey, everybody. My name is Raymond Ban. You can call me Ray Ban. Here's what I think of your masks. Okay, it is unconstitutional for us to have to wear a mask. When the Constitution was constituted, they constituted that. You can't do that. You can't tell me I can't wear a mask. I did my Ancestry.com, and I came back 100% American. There wasn't even an A on it. Straight up American with an M. Look, I got my results right here. It says, oh shit, it says Mexican. Well, no wonder I love those Burger King tacos.
Get out of here. Where's Dom?
Call me Ramon. I just found out some new information. So yeah, I think you should just wear the fucking mask and shut up. It's a lot easier, I think. But
I think
Karen's gonna Karen. You know what I'm saying?
People, they always act like. First of all, they act like that you can't stop the passage of COVID by wearing masks. If both of us have on masks, especially if a COVID positive person has on a mask, they can keep their own stuff with them. That's the whole point. Keep your own stuff with you, you know?
Yes. No, I agree very, very much. I disagree with Raymond, and he'll never be back. He's not invited back
Raymond,
anymore. After that
Raymond's
outburst,
wife, is that Karen's husband? Like,
it's her uncle. He lives in Tallahassee, and he has seen the world, so he knows what he's talking about.
so before we move on to our next blame, I'm just gonna hit up these comments in the chat room.
Let's see. Let's see.
Yes, yes.
I can't see. I say that. I always look down, but I tell Gio every week I don't know where she sees these comments. I can never find the
I'm on
comments.
watch party. Anyway,
I would love to talk to you guys, but I don't know how to do this shit.
it says that a Disney teen is also doxing people she doesn't like.
A Disney teen, like a
yeah. Her name is
teenage girl or
Sky
boy?
Jackson.
Sky
She's
is a teen name.
Yeah, she's like a new millennial like activist, but also an actress. And then Amy's saying in real life, if you're black, you really don't have you don't really call the police. It doesn't turn out well for us.
Yeah, it's a last resort from what I've heard.
All right, and so that will bring me to my last blame before we bring our guest on. So, I mean, I know we've been touching on race a lot. That's just a pretty current topic in today's society. But I have noticed that people will say the most racist shit and say, I'm not racist. Who's to blame? And let me give you some context. So, these officers, they were fired after in Wilmington, North Carolina. Okay. They were caught on tape, audio tape, and their conversations had a bunch of N-words in it, and they said stuff like they can't wait to go out and kill a bunch of N's and this and that. And then when confronted, they're like, we're not racist. Like, why do people say shit like they want to go out and kill a bunch of N's and then turn around and claim they're not racist? I don't get it.
Well, you got to be a certain type of person to speak that way in the first place about, you're so racist, and racism is like rooted from ignorance. So, I mean, these people really don't believe they're racist because they don't know what racism is. What's funny though is that what they are is evil, but they don't see that either. They'll actually kill a black person for being black and not really,
And they are officers. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it worse. They have this.
That's I think what this whole thing is about.
They can kill people and not face consequences. Mm-hmm. And who are they going to focus on? Black folks. And they are pissed. I think cops are just fucking pissed that it's almost like they're pissed that we want to stand up for our rights. And we don't want them to stop killing us. And they don't want to acknowledge that they are. They just want us to stay in line and conform.
I think one of the hardest things to probably do would be to give up a power that you have, and they have this power and they see that it's getting shook and it's scaring the hell out of everybody. But it's got to be almost impossible to expect them to just be like, you know what, you're right, here, take our power. Like, they've got this power over everybody. Why the hell would you want to give that up? And that's what's scary, is they're going to fight.
I think that the ones that are not like that need to stand up. I know ones.
They are, though. That started. That's for the first time ever. I've seen it.
And it has to come from within, that accountability. It really does. And if it's more good ones than bad ones, then it shouldn't be a problem,
Well, that's the thing is, I was reading the transcript of what you were talking about from what they were saying in the car. I actually read the article. See, I work. But yeah, I read the article, and what I saw was one of the officers was just doubling down. He was real bad. And none of them were innocent, but there was one guy who kept kind of coming back and saying like, oh no, man, like it's not like that. But now that one guy, he didn't come speak up. He was the good one in the group. Yeah. Where was he? Why did he wait until the video got called or the audio got picked up? He had a chance to get in front of this and tell what this other officer was saying and how he was going to slaughter, like you said. And that's the change that we need is somebody to get in front of that. If that guy would have came out and told what this other cop was saying, and then that audio came out, then I'd see then I'd see change. But right now, everybody's going to come back and, oh, you caught me. Okay, yeah, sorry, yeah. Like it's only they're apologizing for getting caught, not for what they're doing.
And that's the thing. And then when they're caught, they say, "Oh, I'm not racist," but they are. You know, I don't understand where the disconnect.
I wouldn't know,
is.
Gio. I don't see color.
You know
Is that
better
racist?
than that. You know better than that, right? You're more woke than that. I know that.
This is my new character, Idiot Steve.
Sleep Steve.
Sleepy
You're
Steve.
not woke.
No. Okay. I'm trying to get woke. That's, you know, every week I feel a little bit more woker.
I think that our
am I not allowed to say that?
Is gonna woke shame you.
Oh my God.
But she's very woke. She's very woke. Why don't you bring her on out?
Let's bring out our guest, guys. Please give it up for the wonderful, the lovely Sharon Pfeiffer.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, Sharon. Sharon's a co-worker of ours. She's
Yes.
She's co-host of Chat Fight on, I always get the wrong night, so Gio's going to tell you.
Sunday.
Sunday night
Sundays
at 7.
24 hours ago.
Actually fighting on Chat Fight. I'm usually the one fighting.
Yeah, you are the one that's fighting on it.
Yeah.
The other one's Chat, she fights. It's a
Yeah, I don't chat.
made in heaven.
Scream. I have like 3 levels of yelling.
I'm from New York myself, so I'm very familiar. I have a lot of aunts and uncles that only have 2 volumes.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You know.
So, Sharon,
You guys.
I know Gio's got some questions for you. I like to just jump in front, interrupt all the time. It's kind of what I do here. That's why they have me around. But I saw earlier on Facebook that you said you had some big things to announce. Now, did I just jump the gun? Were you not ready to announce them?
Actually, all I wrote was, if you know, Gio knows me well. She knows my really odd sense of humor. I wrote, there are big things on the horizon.
Oh.
He face. Sun, and there's a moon. And that's it. That's it.
See, I didn't.
And one guy who knows me well, his name is Mark. He wrote the sun and the moon, and I wrote, you know me very well.
See, and
What's going on as you guys? I got as much going on as you guys going on. I had a whole thing, a whole dissertation that I wanted to write, and it was a little bit like fucking Monday, and I already hate it. Like I'm already miserable. And then I said, why am I writing that? Let me start the day off with rainbows and sunshine and, you know, whatever. But that's not me. So I just wrote big things on the horizon. And everybody's like, get it, Sharon.
They're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
Nothing. Usually
So,
me and my...
But you know, you are always up to big things. Like,
yeah, you know, I have things going on. But, you know, Gio, I don't tell anybody what I'm doing. I only say things after it's done, or what we say in the movie world, in the can. Once it's in the can and it's done and I can talk about it, then that's when I talk about it. I'm not one of these people that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to be doing this and I'm going to be doing that and I'm going to be doing this and I'm going to be doing that, because things tend to not work out the way that you plan. And so I don't like that. I like to talk about.
Let's talk about some stuff that you've already done. You know that we've got to bring up the sex scene with Matthew McConaughey in the.
You talking to me or her?
Of course you got to bring that up. What fun would it be if we didn't talk about fucking Matthew McConaughey?
So how was he? Was he great, or was he just all right?
Oh, honey, he was all right. All right. Let me just put it to you this way. He's got really big hands.
Yeah, Donald Trump would hate him, huh? I'm sorry. I had to.
No, you had to go there.
So you had a sex scene with Matthew McConaughey, and we could talk about it because it's in the can.
It's in the can. I mean, it's out in the movie theater. You can rent it tonight, Dom. I mean, if you find me even remotely attractive and you need something to jerk off to, go rent Beach Bum.
Trust me, I can't stand up right now just looking at you.
All right, I'm just telling you, know. No, I'm being provoked right now, and I apologize, but he had some boy sitting next to me.
Be yourself on our show, please. Be our guest.
Yes, come on, it's like Disney. We're actually going to sing it to you later. We were planning on doing Be Our Guest, but she just blew it, so we'll skip that part.
But yeah, so it was fun to be, you know, listen, he's an Academy Award winner. I would consider him an icon. I mean, who doesn't know Matthew McConaughey? I sort of be cast in a like a great sex scene, and we were smoking pot. I love him.
Of course, it was a prop pot.
It was prop pot. It actually was. But can I tell you something? He's such a method actor, and I'm not going to tell you I am. I don't know what kind of actor I am. I was just having fun. But we were drinking, not real alcohol, but we had to look like we were drinking alcohol. And we were smoking fake pot. We were so fucked up and lit. We were
just from being in the mental.
Yes. Just
wow.
we were there and we were lit and we had a ball. And he was a perfect gentleman. And he really was. He was a perfect gentleman. And he actually asked me what I was comfortable with before we went to the set part of the scene. I actually said to him, listen, I have no parameters. I'm not married. So this is and I said, this is your show. This is, your thing. What are you comfortable with? And he was like, whoa! And we had a great time because you have to remember 2 weeks prior to my audition for the Beach Bum, the whole Harvey Weinstein broke. And so that whole time period was all the Me Too thing and the women and so sex scene was like
very sensitive. Right?
And I'm that's just not who I am. And I was.
But they were more aware and conscious of the environment after that happened. So he was being a gentleman.
A total gentleman. And he was like, what are you comfortable with? And I said, this is your show, my friend. You're married. I'm not. And he was like, we did. So I will tell you that he wore a cup the whole time. Those of you who are familiar with like sports, when athletes wear an athletic cup.
Yeah.
He got, I guess, stimulated. Nobody would know about it. I had nothing on other than a dress that was up around my waist.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like a really good day. Was it only one day of shooting? How long was this?
One day of shooting. And it was really supposed to be a quick scene. But Harmony, Corrine, really, everything was improv, which I loved. Mm-hmm. And Matthew McConaughey prefers to improv, just like Martin Scorsese. I don't know if you guys know this. Scorsese has a script, but he loves for the actors to make it organic by adding their own improv lines to it. So it's really wonderful for me as an actor to be able to work with this, again, an Academy Award winner. What opportunity does a Florida actor get to work like that? So it was really amazing. And, listen, like I said, he has big hands.
not only work with an Academy Award winner, you got to really work with him.
We canoodled with a spatula and a bell. Okay. You should watch it, Dom. You'll have a whole new feeling about it.
I think it's going to be my that's going to be my movie review for next week.
You'll hate the movie. You'll hate the movie. The movie was terrible, but that little
but that scene.
I want to transition to your comedy. How long have you been doing comedy, Sharon?
2 years. 2 years. But maybe a little bit more. I guess August will be 2 years.
Where's your favorite venue to perform?
I don't like performing.
What?
Well,
I don't like performing. You guys have heard me do the spiel. I did it at Backstage.
You're very funny.
I consider myself a stand-up. I think that you guys, Dom and Gio, you guys are the stand-ups. I'm an impersonator. I'm an actor who wants.
Don't let her lie to y'all. She is funny. She belongs on that stage right along with us.
Don't let her lie to you. I am not a good stand-up.
I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable doing stand-up. I'm much more comfortable on set, acting, becoming somebody else. I don't like being me. I don't like getting up.
You're so natural at it.
It's funny that she says that, because on that note, it just reminded me that my comedy idol is not a stand-up actor. It's Bill Murray. And he actually has a quote where he said he prefers movies over stand-up comedy because he only has to be funny for 30 seconds at a time.
Right.
And that does seem like a sweet gig to have, because when you're doing stand-up, you can have the funniest joke, and if the next one, that's it.
I don't know.
Right back to the bottom.
But that's the thing about stand-up. It's like a mental challenge as well. Once I got into it, I realized that, I've taken classes, learned formulas and this and that, but there's so much work to it. that you don't realize that
So
it's actually
hard. It's so
in
hard.
the most work is making it look like you didn't work at all. And I know when you get up there, you're just like talking to him, and I'm like, and then there, you know, you do your punchlines and everything, but so don't discount yourself as a comedian. You're very funny.
Well, here's the difference between being an actor and a stand-up comedian, why I have so much mad respect for anyone who's a comedian. When you're an actor, you're given a script. You know, you audition for the role, and then when you hear those magic words, you're booked. They give you the whole entire script. You learn your dialogue. You get into your character, your wardrobe, this and that, and you show up. You become another person, but you show up and you do your job, and it's another person's dialogue that they wrote for you, and that's it. You just memorize the lines, and they wrote it. When you're a comedian, you have to write it. It's your words. It's your jokes. You write it. You create that
punchline,
that dialogue. And so not only are you the creator, you're the writer. You have to write all the punchlines. You better be fucking funny or you're done. So, and then you have to do your presentation on stage. So we all have a persona, right? We all have a persona. I mean, I do the very thick New York accent, and I'm like, oh my God, and oh, you're so funny, and I'm a bisexual. If you buy me something, I'll have sex with you. Like, and
I like that one.
I mean, I do the whole thing, but it's not easy. Comedy, stand-up comedians have I have the hardest job if you're good at it. I mean, listen, no disrespect to people who do open mics 7 nights a week. I don't mean open micers. I mean people who are booked comedians making the big bucks, a stand-up comedian doing the work. I have mad respect for them. I do. I think it's just
Yeah,
do you have any? Go ahead, Don.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, that was a great. The way you described it was really good to the point where I don't even think I want to do it anymore. That's a lot of work. I never realized how much I have to do.
We could do
don't act like you do any work. Come on.
I work very meh to get where I am today. Okay.
You go to your one venue. I don't see you at open mics, but I mean,
because I get booked, baby.
I'm too new. Like I don't know what you've already put in, so I can't even, I can't even judge you on that. But Sharon, do you have anything?
This interview is not about me, Gio. Okay.
I know. I'm trying to transition to Sharon. Sharon, do you have anything coming up that you want to pub or chat fight?
You're doing
Devil Dog still?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you still doing Devil Dog?
No, I stopped doing that May 26th.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What's Devil Dog? You got to explain that now.
I was doing Instagram Live every night from the beginning of the shutdown. I started March 19th, and every night I went on Instagram Live, and I ended up calling it Devil Dog Diaries, because I love devil dogs. You're from.
I just bought some yesterday.
My favorite. I'm a devil dog freak. And every night I would eat a devil dog. And I made a whole little joke because, they're about that big. And I'd be like, look how big this devil dog looks in my hands. Why do you think guys go out with little girls? Because we make it look so big and all.
Oh my God.
We would,
Is that the secret? I need a girl with small hands.
Some nights I would stay on for 5 hours, Tom. 5 hours of yapping all night long, talking to them. And you know what I did? We were just keeping each other company. And I just anything and everything, and people would come on and I would talk to everybody, and I would do it right just here, sitting at my
that's a really cool idea though. Why'd you stop doing it?
Because when March 20, I'm going to tell you, when May 25th happened, you know what I'm talking about, when George Floyd got murdered. And I say to everyone May 25th, but it wasn't the 25th. It was actually the 26th, because that's the day that I saw the actual video. That actually, when I say changed my life, I don't mean to sound like a drama queen, because I know that's what it sounds like, but it literally shook me. It shook me.
I think it shook a lot of people.
Well, Sharon, hold that thought. I want to get into that some more in a little bit, but I think
I couldn't go on. I couldn't go on live and be like, "Hi, I'm here to eat my devil dog. How you doing?"
Yeah. The focus needed to shift, and you realized that.
Yeah, I just couldn't even.
Speaking of shifting the focus, I think that means it's time for the blame game.
Everyone's favorite game.
Yay! All right, Sharon.
Okay, I'm ready.
Your accent is thick as fuck. Who's to blame?
This is the improved version, okay? If you want me to get really thick with the accent, let me hang out with my homegirls from Long Island. And then, oh my God, I need a cup of coffee with milk and sugar. And then we're going to go shopping and I don't know, go fuck yourself. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's what happens.
I saw you on that. You were featured on a national
Yes.
showcase about your accent.
Nico, New York Nico. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's like an icon in New York. He's you may know who it is. New York Nico. He walks the streets in New York. He takes pictures of people or he takes videos and he puts it up on Instagram. And what they did was the New York Times picked up on it. And he did a thing called hashtag Best New York Accent.
Oh boy.
People submit themselves. You have to send in like a 30-second thing about, like talking into the camera. And I was like, listen, I missed the deadline, but I'm giving it a shot because I got to embarrass my kid. And I'm down here in Florida. I'm not even up in New York, but all I do is yap, 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 and go fuck yourself. And I actually, I got in on it. And it was really funny. And everybody was like, oh my God, Sharon, you're in the New York Times. What are you doing? And I'm like, oh my God. And
Sharon, how long were you in New York before you came down here?
I moved here in 1998. Okay, I moved in 1998. So you think you're like 20, how long am I here? 22 years? I sound like I just got off the fucking subway. And that's what I said to them. I said, 22 years, I sound like I just stepped off the subway.
So, how long have you been in Florida? Because you have no accent at all.
Well, I was a kid. I was 5 years old when we moved to Florida. But then when I was 18, I moved back to New York. And then when I was 19, I came back to Florida because, man,
that's why you sound like a Florida man.
Huh?
That's why you sound like a Florida man.
Yeah, well, it was funny when I went back when I was 18. Everybody in Florida used to call me the kid from New York, and everybody in New York called me Florida boy. So I didn't really have a
Florida boy. That's pretty good.
Well, you got to be Florida boy before you could be Florida man,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess it's like just the amount of time that you spent in New York and.
Well, she's also from Long Island. They got that.
Yeah, it's totally the accent in Long Island is like, I don't even know what. And I have to tell you, I had a nail salon. I had 2 nail salons in Long Island. So
no way.
I like, whatever. But I was in the nail salon all day long, talking, yap, 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 yap all day long. And I was like, oh my God, it was I was a caricature of everything you think of women in Long Island. That was me. I was all the horrible things you've ever heard of women from Long Island. I mean, look at my nails. I can't even get rid of those. I can't get rid of my accent.
So being in Florida has like softened your accent a little bit, no?
A little, not much. And I have to tell you the truth. This is a funny thing. You brought up my accent. I tried for some time to get rid of it. I did. I pronounced my R's. I don't know if you noticed that. That's a huge improvement for me. Okay. But the more people tell me to get rid of it, the more I'm like, no, I don't want to get rid of it. And as I'm getting older, I feel like it's getting thicker and I just don't really care. And you know what I mean? I'm like, if you don't like it, I'm sorry, then go see who you got to see. Go somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah.
And people tell me all the time, they're like, Sharon, if you want to make it in acting, you're going to have to lose your accent. I'm like, did you fuck Matthew McConaughey? No. So that's like, I just don't care. Like, I'm not trying to be Betty Crocker on NBC. I'm just not, those are not the roles I want to play.
Now, Gio told me that you were also on, what was it, Mob Wives? Or you were telling me
they did
a rundown earlier.
Well, my background is, I hope my daughter's not watching because she hates when I talk about this. But the reason I left New York is because I was a mob wife in real life, and I had to get away from that life. So I left New York in the middle of the night. I left 2 nail salons and my life, and came to Florida and tried to reinvent myself.
Wow, you left 2 businesses. I did not realize that.
I left 2 nail salons and my family. I left everything. I literally left in the middle of the night.
Now, based on that, and that I see here that you actually also appeared in the Scorsese film, The Irishman.
Yeah, but I was just background. I was just
but based on those two things, and that you also work for the same network and you're a guest on our show, I think you could really, really help our ratings if you just tell us, where is Jimmy Hoffa?
Where
I think we'll get a lot of clicks.
Well, I had a radio show. My first radio show I ever had was with a woman named Linda Melito. Okay, Linda Melito. She has a book called Mafia Wife. She's another, what I call an OG, okay? Original gangster. She's an original gangster bitch because she, I mean, we're old school. And she claims that her husband actually knows that her husband's dead. So
I won't tell anybody. Just go ahead.
her husband's dead.
Oh.
Apparently, according to her, Jimmy Hoffa's buried somewhere within the Verrazano Bridge.
That's a no. See, that's a different one I haven't heard.
Right. They have the things that hold the bridge up. Those, the things.
The pillars. He's in the pillars.
The pillars. Thank you. I'm very bad with.
I told you when I lived. I was born in Brooklyn.
They'll never find his body. They'll never find it.
He is. Just so you know, everybody, Jimmy Hoffa.
For a few years, I lived in Staten Island, and my mother, when I was a kid, my mother worked in Brooklyn. And we would go over the Verrazano Bridge every single day, and I got to tell you, now that you bring it up,
does it make sense? Does it make sense?
It does.
I'm just saying. I got all secrets. What else do you want to know?
How's your cousin Michelle?
I wish you were my cousin. I'm a huge fan.
It's not your cousin. Gio, why do we have her on? I thought this was to get to Michelle.
I'm a huge fan of nepotism, and unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Well, I have her on because she is an interesting person.
Gio, it was a joke.
Okay. So, well, look, I want to get a little serious again. Sharon, Dom, I want to talk about free speech.
I'll allow it. Go ahead.
You have no choice but to allow it.
Oh, because it's free speech. Go ahead.
But I just want to talk about free speech. I see a lot of comedians, they are bitching like their free speech is being trampled on, and it's getting on my nerves. What do y'all think? Are y'all seeing this? Do you feel like you can't express yourself freely as a comedian?
Well, you're talking about comedians in particular. I thought you were just talking about people saying that, now, that freedom of speech is our, constitutional right, and you have.
Yeah, I mean,
because I think a lot of people confuse what that means. Like you are, you're safe from prosecution, not persecution. Like you could lose your job. Yes. You could lose a lot, like for all that. You're not going to go to jail because you're ignorant, but you definitely can get fired. And
that was a great way to put that. You're safe from prosecution, but not persecution.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
I like that.
Every 4 weeks, I have a good thought. That's it.
No, I like that.
Anything else for me tonight?
Don't sleep on Dom. He's got some gems hidden away. But that was really good.
I got a trademark.
You should. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but the market will speak to that. And just because the market is swinging in a new direction, that's more of a safe space for Black folks, people feel like their rights are being trampled on for some reason. And I see it in the comedy world. Like, they're complaining because they feel like they can't say whatever they want.
Who's complaining?
Yeah.
No successful comedians are complaining.
Right. I was just going to say.
There's not.
I wanted to say, who are you talking about in particular? Like which?
Is that true though?
Which comedian are you talking about?
After Me Too, like comedians felt like a certain type of way, like their rights were being Did they feel like
a lot of people in the industry? I don't think comedians in particular. The Me Too thing was more probably Hollywood. I would think.
Well, no, I mean, there were comedians that were definitely affected by it.
I see what Don just said. I see just recently a lot of stand-up. I can't even remember the guy's name.
Chris D'Elia is the one who just got accused.
Yes, thank you. That's who I'm talking about. And anybody associated with him, they're affected. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, it's less about what you're saying, but what you're doing nowadays. What you doing?
And that's another thing too, is that the people that are complaining, first of all, they're not the successful ones, and second of all, they're really like they're those shock comedians. They try to say something that's gonna like just get attention, even if it's not very funny. It has to be funny. And when you see the
like
successful
Michael
ones,
Richards.
but what they'll say is they'll say things like, "Oh, well, how come it's okay for Chris Rock to say?" Because Chris Rock is funny. Like you have to be funny about it.
Right.
If you're gonna be offensive, you better be funny.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly. And if it's
Right.
if it's not funny, then it's coming from a dark place.
Right.
If it's funny, if everybody's laughing at it, then everybody understands that you wrote it in a context where it's supposed to be humor.
I mean, we had a situation a week ago. We all saw it. I'm not going to say any names because, you know, whatever. I mean, come on. If you're not.
Wait, what do we refer? You don't have to say names.
We're talking to the little troll who thinks he's funny by talking about every woman.
Yes.
And he's actually disgusting.
Yeah, oh, no. I mean, I probably wouldn't fuck him. So I agree with that.
Oh, that's nice. And
I say probably to be nice because
sexuality with me. But I don't like when men act depraved and disgusting and cheap and cheesy, and they have no right to do it.
I feel like this is a common thing. Gio could say the same about some of these white people that are crying oppression. You know, it's like these men act like oh, like if I can't compliment a woman by being sexist, like I'm just trying to be nice. Nah, you know, it doesn't work that way. You know, like
you know what?
And then they get mad at all women because, you know, they're home alone at night.
Well, Gio and I, when we had chat fight, we've had differing of opinions where that's concerned. I mean, I love when a man is complimentary. I love, you know, there are degrees of, I don't know what the right word is, sexism or whatever. When a guy is blatantly gets up on a stage and says, you know, like, oh, it's unnecessary. It's not funny. You're directing that humor at. Nobody's laughing and people are walking out. You need to reevaluate. You know, Mike,
like take it through and make it.
Take that thread or whatever thought process you had, throw it out.
It blows my mind because being a stand-up comic, I feel like one of your biggest like strengths you have to have is self-awareness. And how do you not notice that no one's laughing? Like, I mean, the only way I write these jokes is because I have to be self-aware of my flaws and my insecurities.
I don't even think it's that. I think some people just get off on that type of behavior. And then they want to complain that no one wants to patronize that behavior. Like, well, the market spoke. So fix yourself and come back and maybe we'll patronize you again. But we don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I know what you're going to say.
Some people can't accept it. They double down on it. And now.
Right, they double down. That's exactly
like
right.
Say, that extends to me with both, you know, sex, like just disgusting sex, just offensive, aggressive, or even with race, you know? It's just like, you can say whatever you want, but if it don't sit well with the crowd, I don't know what to tell you, you know, other than maybe stop saying it and try something new. But some people, they don't, and then they want to complain that they can't, their freedom of speech is being trampled on when, yeah, you only have freedom of speech when it comes to the government, not any capitalist corporation like Facebook, not any individual like me or you. You can't come into my house and say whatever you want.
And there are limits to that as well. I mean, you can't threaten somebody, even though it's like you can't. Then now you lose that protection. You know, if you're threatening somebody.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I'm referring to the same story that we were talking about because it all started with.
I was thinking like, and it's the same people that be threatening folks. Yeah,
same people. It's the same. You know, I like Gio. You came up with you taught me that willfully ignorant. They're willfully ignorant. It's not like they just didn't know any better. No, they know better, and they choose to ignore facts.
Yeah. Are you saying my kids are willfully ignorant?
No, you are.
I feel like my kids choose to ignore everything I fucking say.
It's funny. But I just, it's just not funny. So, and I don't like when they direct their unfunny humor at someone in particular. It's just not necessary. What do you do that for?
Yeah, it's almost it's you have to have some sort
You're
of
supposed to do that.
And
You're
it,
supposed to have a
it's
camaraderie,
so-
not
you know,
each other.
I-
What is that?
it's making me think about like how the government, while they can't trample on our free speech, they need to restrain the leader's free speech a little bit more, because over the last 2 days, I mean, like he tweets out somebody in one of these Florida neighborhoods talking about white power, and
Can you
then
imagine?
and then today he tweets out the couple aiming the guns at all the Black Lives Matter protesters.
Oh man, wait a minute. We haven't even touched on
Yeah.
that couple yet.
Yeah,
That's
but wait a
tremendous.
minute. They went into their private property, Gio. No offense.
They didn't go. They were walking outside the wall.
It was a gated community. They weren't allowed to be in there. Like, no.
That still don't sit well with me.
You don't just
Like,
bust
Can we
through
just
a gate.
appreciate the way they were holding the guns? That was funny.
yeah, that was
Let me
crazy.
tell you something. I got a Beretta in my nightstand, and if you come on my property, I'm coming out with my gun.
That made me feel like the purge. Like,
I don't really. No, you're not going to come fucking marching on my front lawn. No, you're not. No, you're not. Go march down Main Street. That's where protests happen. Peaceful protests in my fucking front yard.
I don't know. I draw the limit at someone's home. Like, if they would have been going in their home, okay, that makes sense. But they're protesting. You don't need to be brandishing weapons at them. Like,
Well,
and
Well, Gio, that's another.
You're allowed
I don't agree so much with going out with guns, only because I think you got to be careful for retaliation. People are going to know where you live now, but that's a whole different argument. But they do have. I mean, they had the right to do that. Now, I don't think it's right, but they do have that right.
they have the right. Yes. That
you can
was not.
peacefully protest in a public setting.
Now, but I think that woman had her finger like on the trigger. That's actually a big no.
No, that's not cool. That's not cool. You don't do that.
Yeah. I don't know if that was legal or just a mistake or bad.
That's bad training.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Who hasn't been to the range enough.
America needs to reevaluate its moral code. Like, they weren't coming to do anything to those people other than fucking protest and say Black Lives Matters in a neighborhood that probably needs to hear it most.
But people that don't understand that, Gio, they
yeah, you know,
that's where they should go. It's those places. That's where they need to go. No justice.
But you just don't. That's not how you get your point across, by barging into people's private properties. It's just not.
Well, let me say, I disagree. I disagree when it comes to gated neighborhoods. No, I mean, if you can get in there, take your
an extension of Catfight.
Oh.
Shut up, Dom.
I'm having a good time.
Don't you have something for us tonight? You said you don't have a mansplain, which I'm taking issue with.
Wait, you're taking issue that I'm not going to mansplain after that conversation we just had?
I showed up for that. That's why I'm here. I got excited to be a part of it.
Well, there's
more. There's more going on, and right now is a special time. It's a very special time in America, and I wrote a poem.
Yay!
I'm going to read the poem instead. Gio, is that okay?
Fine.
Okay, let's read this.
You better have a mansplain next week, though.
Oh, come on. Do a little mansplain.
Gio, you think mansplaining is easy? Let me explain something to you, okay, sweetheart? When men have to do work all the time, it's not so easy for us to just put together things because you want to laugh for a couple of minutes, okay? It's not all about you, and I know that's hard to hear. Actually, that was off the top of my head. I didn't write a mansplain. Let me read my poem. But see, I can get into character if I have to.
You're a born actor.
You guys remember Ray? No. All right, ready for my poem. Karen's on the prowl, wearing just a scowl, reporting false claims, resorting to calling names, full of shit, sharing all her bowels. She's zoned in like an owl. She's going in with something foul. Oh my God, he's black. Help, I'm under attack. Just throw in the towel. This makes me depressed. My rhymes have significantly regressed. This was fun, but I'm done. And now Karen's oppressed.
I actually really like that.
No?
Oh, what? Share?
I like what you put together there. It was.
Thank you.
Oh, you did like it.
I did like it.
I like your Karen joke about, do you want to tell it here? Or you have a Karen
What's
joke?
that? Who?
I don't have a Karen joke.
Yeah, about your name and how?
Sharon doesn't have a Karen joke because she used to be.
Well, it wasn't a joke. It was just, I'm so glad my parents didn't name me Karen. And they named me Sharon.
And what's funny is when you said who's to blame for her thick accent, my first thought was Karen from Goodfellas. I was like, she had that thick accent.
I get Karen from Goodfellas. I get Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, I love her.
And of course, Fran Drescher. So I get all of them.
That was all the money we had, Karen. That's my impression. That's my limited impression of Ray Liotta.
Yeah, well. But that was good.
What inspired that poem?
Huh?
What inspired that poem? What news? Which Karen inspired that poem?
My all of them. Well, you know what it was is I realized something. All these viral videos of Karens going around, and I didn't want to sound insensitive, but I'm like, damn, all these Karens look alike. So it just kind of made me think, what's the one thing in common with all of them? They're crying oppression. You know what a funny thing is too? I just thought of this too. They're complaining that they have breathing problems and they can't wear a mask because they have breathing problems. So I'm like, so the solution to that is to expose yourself to a respiratory virus?
Right.
Like, stay home in order.
Ridiculous.
And then they say it's about their rights. I'm like, so which is it? Is it about the breathing problem or is it about your rights? Because
the breathing problem is bullshit. I've seen so many people posting, like one of my friends from Texas, she just went through chemotherapy. She was at the hospital and she had to have a mask on and she had oxygen and the oxygen level never changed while the mask is on. That's fucking bullshit. Those people
I saw the girl who put that video.
If they don't want to wear a mask like your buddy, what was his name? The male Karen from the beginning.
Marin? Wait, who?
your male Karen.
Oh, Ramon.
Your character.
Well, it was Raymond Band for Ray-Bans. But he found out that he thought he was American, but it actually said Mexican. So now he wants to be called Ramon.
Have you done that?
Gio, we all evolve differently at a different time, okay? That's part of the problem. Everybody says they have part of the problem. Part of the problem is we all evolve at a different time. We can't all do it on your timeline, Gio, okay? Mansplain. Okay.
I was just going to say he's mansplaining. It's a mansplain.
Not do it. I can't not do it.
Speaking of timeline, I haven't even heard from Gonzo today. Is he doing his show tonight?
I think he's doing like house hunting.
So he's not on tonight.
No show tonight for Gonzo. So we are the entree.
We are what?
My pants today.
Well, that means that any of our listeners, instead of staying on, you should go back and check out like Chat Fight from last night.
After my big question for Sharon.
What?
The biggest question.
What?
Yeah.
All right. In honor also of that movie, The Irishman, I wanted to give you a fuck, marry, kill. De Niro, Pesci, and Pacino. Which one you marry? Which one you fuck? Which one you kill?
Oh, I
want to fuck them all too. I know.
No, but that's difficult. No, that's definitely marry Pesci because him and I are like the same. I love him, and he was fucking great. He made The Irishman.
Oh yeah.
His performance in The Irishman.
It just brought me back.
Pacino, just to say I fucked Pacino, because who doesn't want to fuck Pacino? Icon. And I would totally fuck and punch and hit him like that. De Niro for being such a dickhead. Such a dickhead.
I'm disappointed. I'm so glad I asked that question.
Anyway, that's my.
All right, Gio, you can.
No, I was just trying to send some traffic to Chat Fight, to some of our other shows. We've got the Cocktail Hour that comes on Sunday nights after Chat Fight. We've got
Centron show. He's got his
Centron show on Saturday nights, and Problematic podcasts on Tuesday.
I miss these. All these comics that host these podcasts are such good friends, and I haven't seen them all in 3.5 months, and it makes me really sad. I wasn't going anywhere with that. I didn't mean to end it on a downer, but
hey, we get to see them on here. Like
that's true. I'm gonna go look up their old episodes so I can feel like I'm hanging out with them.
I'm like, if you support them, like I do, so.
Now, are you guys gonna go do anything exciting? You two? You guys have any announcements?
Dama, is there a swamp this week?
It's like the rest of the world. We're on day to day. But as of right now, we are going to move forward with Thursday night comedy. But who knows if Godzilla comes out of the freaking ocean tomorrow, we might have to cancel. I don't know what's going to happen.
I've never been there.
Oh, it's got a reputation, but they just renovated the whole place and it's beautiful now. It's like really nice. Gio, I don't even think you've seen it yet, have you?
I think no, and I think they would love it.
It's really nice now. They made it.
They let you do, are you allowed to say curse words?
There's no rules at Swamp. In fact,
no rules?
Part of the announcements are comics can do whatever they want, but so can the patrons. So just be aware.
Yeah. I'm a little bit dirty.
They love it. They love it. They would love it. It's an.
You gotta come up here, and
Gio knows a lot about it.
Well, you can come up here and hang out with me, and then we'll pop on over because it's not. I'm pretty close, so.
Just double check on Thursday to make sure we're going, because like I said, things change so often.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't even know.
I'm not going this Thursday. That's up in the air because I'm.
Well, you're not invited this though. I was invited. I was talking to Sharon.
Oh, okay. I got one more.
Everybody's always invited. Always.
I got one more negative to get, and then I am. Hopefully,
not pregnant.
I don't know. Well, I'm not pregnant, but hopefully, I don't think I have COVID, but I'm
gotta get laid to get pregnant.
I don't know if I'll go back out. Is what I'm saying. I might just be too scared to do anything.
That's understandable.
I'm supposed to be doing Sean Mullins' mic tonight, and I'm not.
Right. Why? You definitely not going?
No.
Well, she's still waiting on her results, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I got to get that second result. So, the only thing I did was go. I went to the park and I sat by myself on the water. It was nice, but I haven't really done anything at all. So.
Can't test positive if you don't get tested.
Okay. Ramon, get your ass off the camera. All right, guys. Until next week. We'll see you next Monday for some new blames, and I think we have a really exciting guest next week. So, thank you, Sharon.
That's delicious.
Thank you, Dom.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
You're all welcome.
Bye.
Bye, Sharon.
Bye. Thank you.
For Gonzo Radio, this is Super Time 6000 2015 for Gonzo Television Station, coming to the greater Sandusky, Ohio area. This is Pirate Bill, and this is Frank Welker saying, watch Transformers.
This has been a Gonzo Radio Network production. When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro.